A very good afternoon and welcome to UBC Lunchtime News on this 22nd day of August 2024. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto to bring you this afternoon's bulletin. We start off with a headlining story this afternoon. Prime Minister Robina Nabanja has praised the Italian government and the civil society organization Avis for their support in skilling Ugandan youth to address unemployment. Nabanja, who is on a working visit to Italy, highlighted ongoing cooperation efforts with Italian companies to enhance coffee value addition and shared Uganda's initiatives to provide digital skills for sustainable development. We have the details.
Italy and Uganda dated their relations way back in 1910 when the Comboni missionaries arrived in Uganda and engaged in a number of development agenda. Now, the Italian government has listed Uganda among the top 23 priority African countries to benefit from the 2.3 billion euros, about 9.2 trillion Uganda shillings, as development support in the year 2024-2026.
But you are a priority country, for the strategy of the development cooperation of Italy. That is what, because one point I would like to share with you, the Mattei plan with these 9 projects in 9 countries that anyway will evolve and include, does not have money. And the money is at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So this is a project where we address the money. So that was really...
Thank you for the question.
Uganda is there.
Yes, that is there. I have not decided that it starts with you, but these are, so before they were 11, and now they are 23. So
the 3-year program comes after the Italian government decided to continue her development support to African countries in what was termed as Italy-Africa Mattei Plan of January 2024. The Prime Minister Robina Nabanja is representing Uganda at the 45th edition of the Rimini meeting in Italy.
We are particularly happy with the new approach of Italy working as an equal partner with Africa. Allow me to thank my brother Gatti for including Uganda in the Mattei plan among the other 22 African countries. We welcome this equitable and mutual beneficial partnership aimed at finding shared solutions to regional and global challenges, especially climate change, food security, strengthening health systems, and managing migration. It is in line with our continental and national aspirations.
The Mattei plan stipulates that African countries will take the lion's share of 65%, the Middle East 14%, Asia 5%, Latin and Central America 14%, the Balkans and Eastern Europe 12%. The Prime Minister Robina Nabanja was also accompanied by the Executive Director of the Uganda Investment Authority, Robert Mukiza, highlighted the potential benefits the Italians could reap out of Uganda once they invest in the country.
Success of the private sector is the success of our country. And in Uganda, we are focused on making Uganda the best business and investment destination in Africa. And don't just take my word for it. Oxford Economics Africa Risk Reward Index 2023 ranked Uganda as the most profitable country to invest in Africa. So when, as a private sector, you invest in Uganda, you will make more profits, 14% profit in our country. That is only Ethiopia and Egypt above Uganda. So I'm speaking particularly the private sector here. The annual investment awards in Abu Dhabi, that is in UAE, did rate Uganda as the best investment destination in Africa. And Uganda is the fastest growing economy in East Africa with a GDP growth rate of 6%. We also, if you look at CNN rankings, we are the top 10 tourist destination in Africa.
Partner with you. Uganda is on the right path to development. We develop together. I am inviting you to come to Uganda. And once you come to Uganda, you will not regret.
Jingo Francis reporting from Italy.
The Deputy Director, Internal Security Organization, Colonel Emi Katabazi, has advised NEMA to perform its job without fear or favor while officiating at the 10-day National Environment Management Authority retreat going on at National Leadership Institute Chankwanzi. Colonel Katabazi tasked NEMA to perform its mandate without political pressure. Now, the 10-day refresher training on environment management at the National Leadership Training Institute Chankwanzi was intended to acquaint staff with leadership skills, change management and positive resilience. The Executive Director, NEMA, Dr. Akankwasa Barirega, says following the tasks ahead, the staff needed thorough refresher trainings, especially on mindset change.
Leadership is not just about knowledge and skills that you have acquired or that we have acquired, but it's also about character, courage, and commitment. I can confirm that personally I'm transformed in terms of transformational leadership, and so should be you, judging from the speech of the course senior. I want to pledge our commitment, Director Nali, that we shall deploy the skills and knowledge we've acquired in the last 10 days towards ensuring that we continue the war we have started to liberate the environment as a solution or as a transformational power to power forward our transformation process in order to attain our vision 2040. As I conclude, our chief guest, I want to call upon all Ugandans, since the media is here, I want to call upon all Ugandans that it is their constitutional duty to protect, first of all, to create and protect a clean and healthy environment. This is a constitutional dictate. I think Article 3, it's a constitutional dictate for every citizen to create and protect a clean and healthy environment. And so the function, the duty, the role to protect the environment is the responsibility of all of us as citizens and people living in Uganda.
The biggest challenge we have, and we continue to face, is that the environment to be protected in the part of Africa is for the survival of even of those who are outside Africa. They might not be committed to protection of this resource if you hear the negotiations that have been taking place in those negotiating those protocols. But we also ought to know that we don't owe anybody anything. It is our responsibility as enshrined in our constitution. Everybody has a right to protect the environment. I appeal to you not to be tempted and succumb to political pressure of those who are ideologically empty. They are those who are looking for votes to live in hell. And they have threatened you. They have said a lot of words about NEMA. Uphold your constitutional mandate so that all of us can live in paradise. There are those who fear to go to paradise, want to live in hell. Because in the hell, there are mayors, in hell, there are councillors, some road councillor where there is no roadship about them. They are peasants and tenants, and they call themselves roads. You have heard them, in Kampala especially. Be firm as an organization, be firm as employees.
BBC Lunchtime News. Now, the Minister of State for Energy, Okasai Opolot, has urged those affected by the Karuma hydropower station project to withdraw their court petitions and resolve their grievances through the appropriate institutions or companies. This was during a meeting with the Parliamentary Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, the project-affected persons and a team from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development at the Karuma hydropower station offices in Chiriandongo district.
The Committee on Environment and Natural Resources convened at Karuma hydropower station offices primarily to assess the project's progress. However, they also expressed deep concern over issues raised by the project-affected persons regarding compensation process. The Vice Chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Environment and Natural Resources and Member of Parliament for Arroa's Ivu constituents, Geoffrey Feta, questioned the Minister of Energy about revising the compensation process.
Now, some of our key observations is that, one, the compensation bit of the project still has key issues that need to be attended to.
Feta emphasized that many PAPs are dissatisfied with how the compensation has been handled.
Government has taken very long to procure the alternative land. Now, these people have been in the land where the project is implemented since 2013. They are supposed to move to the alternative land, but the alternative land is not yet available, but they have been stopped from implementing livelihood activities like farming.
The lead petitioner for the PAPs of Karuma hydropower station and a local leader in Chiriandongo, Ochawa, Washington, expressed frustration, stating that the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development has not fulfilled its promises regarding land compensation.
As time is going, nothing has been fulfilled. That is why some other languages are coming, some other words are coming that we demand. Because you promised me.
The PAPs further voiced their dissatisfaction before the committee and the minister, highlighting how the flawed compensation process has negatively impacted their lives.
There is the total mismanagement of the settlement scheme that here you need to take on. There is mismanagement of this scheme and they want to take advantage of this part here.
In response, committee members urged the government to honor its commitments to ensure the project's smooth progress.
Your behavior starts with the people of Karuma that you took their land 10 years ago, you've not compensated them, and you're just moving on. Your project is running and everything coming now to 99%. You have not compensated the people. That's where you should have begun. Compensate the land, the people who own the land.
The districts of Chiriandongo, Oyam and Pakwach are integral to the Karuma hydropower station project, with 99.9% of the station located at Karuma land. However, Minister Okasai advised patience as the ministry and other authorities continue to address the petitions.
It is the government of Uganda that has to compensate our people. So let's not get worried. The project is going to be commissioned, we are going to be compensated.
Winnie Ainembaba's Katwiri, Tanaba Kenneth for UBC.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is expected to attend a two-day business symposium taking place on the 27th and 28th of September 2024 in South Africa. The symposium is organized by the NRM party members residing in South Africa under the NRM Southern African chapter. This Wednesday, the organizers briefed the media about the event's preparations.
The 2 days business symposium for Ugandans living in South Africa returns this September.
The reason why we've held this symposium, it's about trade and investment. It is a continuity of the President of Republic of Uganda, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, when he was in South Africa. His main emphasis was about trade.
Investment has continued to come from South Africa. I think South Africa is one of the leading investors. If you talk of external investment, South Africa is almost leading in Uganda. Yes. And it doesn't come by grace of God, it comes by this activity.
While briefing media about the preparations of the event happening in Johannesburg, the organizers shared the details of the September event.
We expect opening the offices for the chapter officially in the region. Preparations are really in high gears. We've had coordinations and mobilizations in all the regions of Southern Africa, including all the countries in SADC region.
We've invited very many people in that area. That includes the mining, the Minister of Health, Minister in Mining, Minister of Education, in those areas so that they can collaborate or benchmark with the counterpart.
This time round, the symposium will also carry on the discussion about Ugandans living in the diaspora to start voting.
Ugandans are yearning in diaspora to vote because that point is very critical. When you look at Rwanda, they are voting. Kenya, they are voting. Why not Uganda? We have the capacity. In Southern Africa, as a region, we have almost 100 million. That is a constituency. So that is a very key role where we can look around the clock to see how do we mobilize.
His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of Uganda, has been invited to officiate the event.
This symposium, it's going to connect people, business, it's networking. It's about networking, business to business interaction. Like the chair of the organizing committee stated it, we've invited different sectors. As the president was in the country, it is a continuity of his visit. And these are the fruits which we are trying to cement as a party.
This is the 60th symposium organized by Ugandans living in South Africa.
When this relationship is cultivated, the relevant government organ pursues it. Like Ministry of Internal Affairs now pursues it. Right now, I hold a diplomatic passport, and recently I was in South Africa with the Secretary General. I don't need a visa. I just go to Entebbe, get my air ticket, fly to South Africa, they'll see it.
We are hoping to launch the campaign trail for 2026 in this symposium as well. So we hope maybe we'll get maybe 200 cars from our members who are going to pledge them to say we are giving our cars, our petrol, our time, our resources to go and support our party.
Robert Nyango, UBC News, to 28th September in Johannesburg, South Africa.
The CEO Summit Uganda has launched the Lean Forward Modular Program. This program is designed to empower women by equipping them with essential leadership skills and fostering an environment where women's voices and talents can thrive. The initiative underscores the importance of diversity and inclusivity as key pillars for effective leadership in today's world.
According to the CEO Summit Uganda country lead Stephen Mukasa, the Lean Forward Modular Program will focus on various models aimed at developing practical leadership competences, building confidence, and promoting networking among women leaders.
And you might ask, why is it called Lean Forward? Because as you lean, we are telling the leaders to lean forward. There is already Lean In, which we ran in 2022. And this year, in 2024, we are pushing for Lean Forward. encouraging women to lean forward, to put their hands up and be counted. Because I know at some point we are going to ask ourselves, why are we focusing on women? How about the men?
By design, the CEO Summit Uganda is committed to promote women's leadership, thus shape a more balanced and progressive leadership landscape in Uganda. According to statistics, the number of female leaders is way below that of male counterparts. But with the genesis of this program, more females are expected to be inspired to take up leadership roles.
Empowering women in the leadership perspective is one of the noble causes that we think as the fund, if we put emphasis to it and other organizations joined, would make a difference in the country.
Learn from each other. You get it's a pool of women who are willing to grow together, learn and relearn. So it's not only a program that they're going to attend, but it's going to transform their lives, it's going to transform their careers, even lives outside their jobs.
The program promises to bring together key stakeholders, partners, and participants ready to champion the cause of women empowerment in leadership. Robert Katamba, UBC News.
UBC Lunchtime News takes a very short break, but will return after these messages.
Ekutosako papapatetuwa musoka katino kuwa mukaganga satubunu mwezi guno gwa munana jangu kudamuzi wotakuraga backgrounds entunyumirwe ng'okuyingira jinja kuba emitwalo ebiri naye tiketi wogigulira ku MTN Momo ogifuna ku mutwalo gumu ye ya VIP ya mitwalo 3 katino nyiga *165*2 oba kozesa Momo app wegulire tiketi yo ku MTN Momo ku bei rahisi tosubwa abayimbi bonna ab'e Kampala n'ab'e Busoga papapate netegekeddwa Douglas Rwanga ne kutusibwako MTN.
Together we're unstoppable.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Stake 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Stake 10. Sports Stake 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Showing your fire! Has Nabole Stadium opened its doors once again? You are one moving in wet. You are the 12th player. When you got the Greens needed you the most. Through our famous wins against Tubakunda and our unlucky losses, you stood firm, supporting even louder. Now, as Uganda Queens take on South Africa and Congo this September, South Sudan in October, and play our second legs against South Africa and Congo in November, bring even more fire! Because with your support, Uganda Queens is unstoppable! Uganda Fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda Cranes. Together, we are unstoppable. The East Africa UK Tourism and Culture Expo 2024 is here, happening on 8th and 9th of November 2024 under the theme Enhancing Tourism as Engine for Social and Economic Transformation on the sidelines of WTM London at the Rembrandt Hotel, 11th Thalo, PI South Kensington, London, SW7 2RS, United Kingdom. For tickets, exhibitors will pay £1,000 and participants will pay £300. For more information, call +256 787 096 100 or +254 795 806 969. Visit www.eaukTourismExpo.com to register.
Welcome back from that break, and now into the international scene. Barack and Michelle Obama, Chicago's favorite power couple, declared hope is making a comeback with Vice President Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, at the top of the Democratic presidential ticket. The former president and First Lady headlined the second night of the Democratic National Convention, delivering a message of exhilaration at the possibility of electing the first woman in history at the White House and the critical importance, they added, of preventing a former President Donald Trump from securing a second term.
Something wonderfully magical is in the air, isn't it? Yeah. You know, we're feeling it here in this arena, but it's spreading all across this country we love. A familiar feeling that's been buried too deep for far too long. You know what I'm talking about. It's the contagious power of hope. The anticipation, the energy, the exhilaration of once again being on the cusp of a brighter day. The chance to vanquish the demons of fear, division, and hate that have consumed us and continue pursuing the unfinished promise of this great nation, the dream that our parents and grandparents fought and died and sacrificed for. America, hope is making a comeback. Still feel her loss so profoundly. I wasn't even sure if I'd be steady enough to stand before you tonight, but my heart compelled me to be here because of the sense of duty that I feel to honor her memory and to remind us all not to squander the sacrifices our elders made to give us a better future. Kamala Harris and I built our lives on those same foundational values. Even though our mothers grew up an ocean apart, they shared the same belief in the promise of this country. Kamala worked her way up to become Vice President of the United States of America. My girl, Kamala Harris, is more than ready for this moment. She is one of the most qualified people ever to seek the office of the presidency.
Now, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken visited Egypt's capital, Cairo, where he met with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to discuss steps to work towards a ceasefire in Gaza. This came after the Washington diplomat on Monday spoke with the Israeli officials who said they would support proposals to bring a ceasefire in Gaza, where Israel is at war with Hamas, a Palestinian militant group.
State Antony Blinken made the announcement Monday after holding several meetings with top Israeli officials.
The next important step is for Hamas to say yes, and then in the coming days for all of the expert negotiators to get together to work on clear understandings on implementing the agreement.
Pressure is building on the government of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to secure the release of Israeli hostages taken by Hamas on October 7th. Blinken conveyed to him the importance of reaching a ceasefire agreement now.
With every passing day, that there's not an agreement, two things can happen. One is, of course, more hostages can perish, and second, intervening events come along that may make things even more difficult, if not impossible.
And into the world of sports, City Oilers Basketball Club has secured their place in this year's National Basketball League final. Our reporter followed their journey to the final. Take a look.
City Oilers are the team playing in white came into this knowing that victory will ease them into a 10th consecutive National Basketball League final. They started with intent and led 18-14 by the end of the first quarter. But against a resolute Uganda Christian University Cannons, they were pegged back in the second and third quarters that they lost 25-15 and 15-13 respectively. However, a magnificent final quarter in which they outscored their opponents 26-9 gave them a comfortable 78-63 victory and a place into the final. Along the way, players like team captain Ivan Mohwezi, Titus Luwal, Malwal Dayan, Parish Petty in double figures were instrumental. They will return in the final next week against either Kampala International University Titans or Namuwongo Blazers. Kampala International University Titans lead that best-of-5 semi-final series 2-1 with Game 4 on this evening at the MTN Arena Rugogo. In the women's category, Jaguars are needed two massive Atamuliza free throws to aid reigning champions JKL Lady Dolphins for their first win in the series that JKL leads 2-1. The two will go again on Friday. The other women's series is also a tight contest that returns this evening with Uganda Christian University leading Kampala International University Rangers 2-1.
And with that, UBC Lunchtime News has come to an end. We would like to thank you so much for your company. Right now, we take you to Butembo District, whereby there's a Thanksgiving for Honorable Monica Musenero, and we do have Robert Onyango, who is on standby in Butembo District. Over to you, Robert.
Well, it is a good afternoon from us here in Butembo District. I'm by the names of Robert Onyango, and we are coming to you live from Petete Primary School Playgrounds here in Butembo District. This is Bukedi sub-region. We are here for the main event, which has been almost running for the entire month, where the minister